What's going on, everyone? So in this video I want to cover the easiest way you can actually go through forts. Now in this essential guide, whether it be duo, solo, or with a galleon, or even with an alliance, this video will be sure to help you. So without further ado, let's just get straight into it. So starting off, the first thing you're going to notice when heading to a fort is that cannons are going to be firing at you from the island. Now position of your ship is probably the most important part when doing forts, because what you don't want to do is actually kill skeletons, because they actually alert you when other ships are coming, because every time a ship comes close to the skeletons they will actually shoot their cannons. Although if you do have to kill the skeletons, sometimes they can respawn when ships are close. So the ideal placement of ship is pretty much as close as you can get to any sort of tower. Now if you do stay close to the towers, they actually can't get their cannons down to shoot you, so it works as a perfectly good natural location to hide your ship. Now there's heaps of spots around any fort you go to. The idea is just to scout it out before you actually pull up close to the island. And just do remember that natural cover is your greatest ally. So when you get onto the fort, what you do need to pay attention to is what type of skeletons you're going against and what color the eyes are. Now the color eyes of the skeleton determines the difficulty, with red being the hardest and either green or blue being the easiest. So if you're taking out golden skeletons, the way you can identify them is that they're slow and they're covered in coins. Now these are weak to water because they rust, and what you really want to do to take them out is use gunpowder barrels or cannons from either your ship or the island, just depending on where they are. If you're taking on shadow skeletons, the way you identify them is they're all black and sometimes they're invincible. If you do find them invincible, it's just because there's no light around, and what you can do to fix that is just use your lantern to make them hittable again. Following that, you also have the leaf skeletons. Now their strength is in water, so don't bring them to water, otherwise they can regenerate health, and when taking them out, what you want to do is use a sword. They have a strong weakness to swords as opposed to guns. Then you have the normal skeletons. They do not have a strength or a weakness to anything, so you can take them out how you see fit. Whenever you do find yourself attacking a fort, always have a cutlass with you because that'll make your life a lot easier. Not only is it easier to kill skeletons with a sword, you also don't have to worry about restocking. Now when you take on a fort, you're going to notice there's a lot of gunpowders around. What I suggest you do is don't waste them because they are extremely important. You can use the gunpowder barrels for anything, and they can take down large groups of skeletons pretty much instantly, so definitely don't waste them on one or two skeletons, it's not worth it. Now this is particularly with solo, but it's also recommended if you're doing it with other people. While you're on a fort, what you should do is check around for mermaids and ships, because it's not uncommon that someone will try and take on the fort while you're there, so it never hurts to be vigilant and ready for them if they do. While you're clearing these skeletons, there's a certain order you're going to want to do things. Always prioritize the ones with guns, because they're the ones that will kill you more often than the ones with swords. And the reason I say that is because the ones with guns have the ability to shoot you from anywhere. Many times I've had different skeletons aimbot through walls and rocks. Unfortunately, it's just what happens, so to get around that, what you need to do is focus on the ones with guns first. While you are taking out these forts, what you want to do is pay attention to the skeletons with headbands, because they're the ones that directly relate to the rounds. If you do find yourself fighting a skeleton that doesn't have any headband on, all it means is just they're skeletons that man the cannons. It doesn't really matter too much if you don't kill them, so if you want to avoid them, you can. Now when taking on waves, another really important thing to note is there's really only 3 spots they can spawn. The first one, which is the most common one in my experience, is the middle of the fort, which is inside the little building. Secondly is right at the tip of the fort, and finally is usually out in the sand that's a fair distance away from the fort. So do watch out because skeletons can sometimes spawn behind you. So moving on now to the best way to clear out the skeletons. What you want to do is use the door grind. Now what that is stockpiling up the skeletons against the wall so you can use the wall to your advantage. What they'll do is they'll pile up directly in front of you, and if you swing your sword it'll cut through more than one at a time, so it really does make taking out these waves extremely efficient. As you can see in the video, this is the technique here. It's not hard at all. This is the best way to take down any fort, whether you're playing solo, with other people, or with an alliance. If you do find that too hard, one thing you can do is get who you think the most skilled member in your crew to run around that little door, then position your ship so you can actually fire cannons into that doorway, then use the cannons to clear the waves. So hopefully all those tips have helped you clear out the forts effectively. I use these tips all the time, and I usually get them done in around 5 to 10 minutes if I'm with other people, and around 15 to 20 if I'm by myself, and aside from everything I've said in the video, I don't really do anything else. If by chance though I have forgotten some things, I'm actually going to put them down in the comments, so do check that out. If you have some great tips that I've missed out, feel free to put them down there as well. And if you are looking for a crew, what I suggest you do is go down to the description and come join the Discord. We've got a lot of people in there that will be willing to help you, and it's run by some really great admins. So moving on now to the next edition of the giveaway I'm doing with the guys from Propellent. I'll now be dropping the second clue, so I'm going to put a little photo up. All you need to do is send me a photo of you in that location, and either post it in the comments via a link, or in my Discord in the giveaway channel. The way we're going to be choosing the winner is by the first person that I see. Do take note, if you've already won though, I'm not going to re-enter you. And out of all the winners that we do have, one of them will be running away with their own villainous skull, made by the wonderful guys from Propellent. And everyone else will be going away with some discount codes that have been specially given to me. So if you do want a chance to win the skull, and you want some discount codes, go find that location, then send me a photo. Also, subscribing and sharing this video with your friends will also help your chances just a little bit, because I might be doing a special giveaway at 10,000 subscribers, and the way you'll be able to enter that is by subscribing. So with all that being said, if you want to see what I get up to and see Thieves when I'm not recording, feel free to go down to the description and check out my Instagram, because I post all of that there. And with all that being said, thanks for watching, and I'll see you all later.